Welcome back to another episode of the Discipline Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Theo Discipline. Alongside me is Suey Sotomayor. Let's get right into it. We know y'all are fiends, and y'all know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy, where not everything is completely free. As we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see, but what is free is a judgment-free, sucker-free, censor-free, sensitive-free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite roll of blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed like one up. Inhale life and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're
We're
here.
here. All right. We have links in the description on how to become part of our Patreon family and subscribe for exclusive content, bloopers, behind the scenes, Yale Discipline solo lecture of Discipline Therapy Talk, his BDSM content, erotic posts, and writings by Mr. Discipline. We also upload his masterclass and workshop. There are also some collaboration shows pertaining to more sensitive topics such as sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, transgender, children abductions, conspiracy theories, government conspiracy theories, and much more with myself and Mr. Discipline. Once again, how to become part of our Patreon family, you go to patreon.com/, the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Mr. Eel Discipline also has 7 published books that are available for purchase. We have them on Amazon.com. How do I say it like that? BarnesandNobles.com. We have for electronic versions as well for Kindle and Nook. Once again, all the links are in the descriptions below. For our online store for merch, you go to disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. You could go check it out. We have a bunch of different categories. We have new stuff that we try to put up every month. And last but not least, if you can't catch us on our YouTube channel, don't worry. Just go to your wherever you get your audio entertainment. We are on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, Overcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Did I say that? No. And much, much more.
You got an extra pen?
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to get up and get it.
Where is it?
Probably in my briefcase.
Forget it. Just freestyle. Usually I keep the pen in this holder,
Yeah,
and
we could share it.
they're not. No.
Yeah, well, you don't like sharing, you see?
so
Jeez.
you know and to me I look at it like it's not a big deal because this is the part 2 finally. So if people are aware, Suhei wasn't there for the fundamentally good and bad episode. I wanted to have a part 2. Here it is. So I said a lot of things pertaining to that. I did an overview, body, conclusion, final thoughts.
I saw it. It was a good show. You held it
So
down.
we're just gonna recap, and then you can give your perspective because you weren't here. So episode 193, part 2. Are we? So I started out as we and I ended it as you. I wanted them to look internally because this is more of a subjective, opinionated perspective topic. No right or wrong answer. But I'm going to revisit it by starting it again with are we? So are we fundamentally good or bad slash evil?
All right. Can I just do this before we actually start?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta clear the energy.
Mm-hmm. Might not hear it. I'm gonna add the noise gate.
I love it.
Yeah,
I get that.
nervous, nervous. Yeah, I do that to women.
All right.
All right.
Start it off.
Okay. So, I did.
Oh,
You just have to give you a perspective. It's a part 2. So this is the thing. I talked about some people believe in the biblical times. Some people are religious. Adam and Eve. We were born fundamentally good. They first man and woman. They listened to the serpent. Well, not they. She listened to the serpent, influenced Adam, who became a simp, and listened to her. They both ate the apple, and they were aware. They were conscious, so they were aware that they were naked and whatnot or whatever. And remember, God had said, "Don't," you know, in this field. You know what I'm saying? So he gave explicit orders. They violated that. They were kind of like excommunicated
Mm-hmm.
out of the garden, and that cursed us. Then I mentioned John 3:16, and once again, everybody believes in different things, but this is for the religious people or people that believe in Bible. John 3:16, for God to love the world, he gave his only begotten Son, for whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So that concept of that verse is Jesus came down, boom, went through the whole like evolution. 12 years old, preaching, teaching people, made the blind see, fed the 5,000, walked on water, made the people who couldn't, the cripple walk,
Mm-hmm.
right? All did all these miracles. Prosecuted, um, died, resurrected. So kind of like cleansing
Mm.
us. So we're fundamentally good. Then they cursed us, and then that was sent for him to do to make it back to cleanse our sins. So, but that's just on a different perspective. Now we got another perspective where I mention, environment, stuff of that nature. Some people may have just like the cognitive uh, version of in their mind or what they're used to or what's embedded in their subconscious of automatically if you're in a low income environment, high crime, blah blah blah, yeah, you're fundamentally bad, like by default, which I said is not true, because I said that somebody could be born in Beverly Hills, two parents, they could have done some evil shit to get to riches. Their children know that. Once again, I'm just recapping, ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen. Go back to that episode 190. Um, and then now they operate the same way. The
Mm-hmm.
apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And then now you see them behaving that way. They don't have empathy. It goes on in schools. We have groups of people, the popular kids, the cheerleaders, boom, boom, boom. Then we got maybe the weirdos, the nerds, they call them. So it's different things. They treat them a lot worse, and, there's no remorse there. And then I ended it off with, are you fundamentally good or bad? Your circle, how you think of yourself is who you are. You think of yourself as royalty in every fashion. You are royalty, and you behave like that. What we put in our mind, our body starts to move according to that. The power of I am in my second book, The Importance of Discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So, verbalizing that I am this, I am the best, I am that, blah, blah, blah. I am a bitch. Look at this bitch. I'm such an idiot. When you start talking like that, women
Mm-hmm.
specifically, you are that, you believe that, you move like that. Or reverse, the other side. Oh, I'm such a queen. Look at the silver lining. Oh, I win, I never lose. Yeah, there's a
Mm-hmm.
mistake or whatever it is. I learn from my mistakes. I learn from other people's mistakes, so I don't make them. So I'm wiser. I'm intuitive. I'm a critical thinker. I'm the best. I'm confident. I'm what it. So you put all that into it, and then you start to behave like that. So if you think, oh, I'm fucking just a piece of shit. I'm
Mm.
evil. You are that. And if your circle of friends and family think of you like that as well, it's congruent. You are that most likely, even if it is opinion. If you say that you are good, no matter what type of tendencies you have that are bad, it just you wanna be bad. For example, let me give you my situation.
Mm.
I have the grunt. I am the original head of the table, especially in my family. Everybody comes to me. When there's a problem with younger cousins, little brothers, whatever, my parents or sister or whatever are always coming to me. Talk to them, or whatever. So I carry the load.
Mm.
I'm not complaining about it. It's easy for me. So the thing with me is I could be like, fuck your problems. Your problems ain't my problems. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I wear my heart on my sleeve, especially pertaining to family. Even if we had a fight or whatever it is, I got you. You know, and maybe I'm loyal to a fault, you know, in that regard. But I continue to help,
Yes.
you know. So me, I believe I'm fundamentally good because if I even a subtle thing like that, to not indulge, it would keep me up at night. So I'm fundamentally good. But you got people that won't even blink an eye. You know what I'm saying? They'll screw family. A man will screw his best male friend over a smile in his face and set him up to get robbed, whatever. Do this because he sees money, or
Sleeps with his girl.
sleeps with his girl, wife, or whatever it is. You know, there's plenty of pussy in the sea or fish in the sea, like they say. But he gotta have everyone. He can't pass on them. He gotta have them all. Doesn't have integrity, doesn't have principles, doesn't have true character. He's fundamentally bad, in my opinion, but it might not be everybody else's. You know, they sleep well at night. When I'm looking at my lens, I'm like, that piece of shit. They are fundamentally bad because it comes, like I was explaining it in my perspective, it comes down to now gut health. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to do that to an old lady, old man, whatever, homeless, whatever it is, family member, best friend, girlfriend, a man with his girlfriend, a dominant with his submissive, vice versa, the submissive with the dominant, the girlfriend to the boyfriend, you're fundamentally bad, in my opinion. Comes down to the act and then how you feel about it. You know, so some people can do some immoral things and then they just don't blink an eye. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. You know what I'm saying? What you do with little kids, rituals, whatever, blood, drinking, whatever it is, selling soul, it's normal. Because at the end of the day, I believe an evil person, their soul is gone. That's why they don't have remorse. When you don't have your soul and you don't feel shit, I
agree.
believe.
No, I agree with
I
that too.
believe. You know, I'm not saying this is true. You don't even recognize yourself in the mirror. It's nothing anymore to you. So you sleep well at night. You don't blink an eye. You don't have any remorse. You don't have any guilt. And you just move about your day and you keep doing the same thing. But here's the kicker. Maybe there's no spiritual. No, let me reiterate because I'm already jumping. Maybe there's no physical rewards for goodness, but there are spiritual ones. You believe in karma, right? That's what that is.
Oh boy,
So all
do I.
these people could think, oh yeah, I keep doing it, I'm gonna get away. Yeah, you're running away from the cops. Yeah, you set them up. Yeah, you keep getting away with it. You did that to your girl, or your best friend, or whatever it is, his girl. But you keep getting away with it, right? Nobody could see you. Yeah, eventually you're gonna get it because one thing I will tell people, and then you can get it to your spill, is you can't fight ghosts, you can't run away from spirits, and there's no way you can dominate the universe.
That's true.
So people could do whatever they want to do, but eventually you're gonna see things are gonna catch up, and maybe it don't catch up with you. But your kids get the grunt of it. Maybe it don't catch up with you, but who you love, your girl now gets the grunt. Maybe you don't catch up with you, but the group of friends that you gets up with it. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna see. So me, I always say mold your spirit. That's what lasts longer. You're gonna get the rewards in the next life. People don't. When I say stuff like that, it sounds boring because we only YOLO, right? You only live. What is it? Once. So they're like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking gibberish. You know
That's
this
because
shit.
they can't see that far. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the moment is what it is. But the reality is, you know, this is stuff is real. And I'm just, you know, spitting out my perspective.
No,
So that's
I
what
agree with that. I
that's
watched the show.
yeah.
I listened to, to what you said. I was like, he makes a lot of good points. You held it down. Um
Yeah, I had a lot of opportunity to really take my time. Like I know I'm talking fast now cuz I want you to get your perspective out. But when I'm by myself, I got a lot more time to think.
Mm-hmm.
So everything slows down. So it was slow motion, especially at first. And then I picked it up down the line because they take over.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's always good to have you. Second
Well,
goes,
that's so
but when
nice.
I'm by myself, um, it's time to go crazy.
Mm,
And I mean that in a good way.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they need to get this work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, I agree with a lot of the things you say. Except that, uh, so you know how we say men and women have both masculinity and feminine, well, masculine energy and feminine energy.
Hmm.
So I feel it's the same with that. Like we are balanced in all ways. We are
Hmm.
balanced with good and evil as well.
Yeah,
That's what separates us from other things, is that we have free will.
and I mentioned that too in the beginning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I went to Catholic school up until when I got to high school, I was like, that's quite enough Catholic school. Because we spoke off camera with this. I am more spiritual. I'm not religious. I don't believe in any organized religion. And it's funny, you were telling that story about Adam and Eve. Um, and it's just, the part where you said now they became, woke and they're aware now. And it's almost like, I mean, I took it as you were saying that was bad.
Positive thing
It was a positive thing.
in my perspective.
I think so
But
too, because I
when
was gonna
when
say
you look at it
it's
on,
funny how when people are trying to be woke now, it's a good thing. So
but when you look at it on, people who are
religious,
just like steadfast on the Bible only, they're gonna be looking at it as a bad thing.
right? And we've had this type of conversation. I want to say on other episodes.
Hmm.
I always think that the Bible is like a storybook. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because when you add science to what they're saying, there's always some type of science to back up what happened. The blood in the Nile River, that was caused by algae. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But people who are they only see one thing one way are always going to go to that. I think that any fanatic, religious fanatic, sports fanatic, they get, I feel like, can get carried away and bring negativity to it because they only see things in one way. They're not they're not open to hear somebody else's thoughts, ideas, or anything. They're very, you use a word all the time,
Myopic.
myopic.
Yeah,
Um,
they can't see beyond.
right. They can't see beyond that. And so how are you going to ever grow or elevate, or it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to, you thought this way for so much, and then you hear someone speak and you're like, holy shit, I never saw it that way. It's okay to admit I was wrong, and now, I see something else. I think people who can't do that are fundamentally evil. Because if you can only say, no, what I say is right, it's my way, what you say is a lie or is not true, when there is proof, I think that's stupidity, and I think that falls with that. I think it's also interesting how in religions, well, I can only speak about the one that I was raised in the Catholic religion, newborn babies are born evil until they get baptized. That to me
Mm.
blows my mind.
Hmm.
How can a baby who doesn't know anything be born evil? They
Hmm.
haven't done anything. They need you to, for their own survival.
Hmm.
That I never understood, which is what led me to believe these are stories created by man to keep everyone in control. You know, um, I have a problem with religion because when you go so far back, you've had the Spaniards that came to conquer the American Indians, the natives.
Native. Yeah.
They stripped them of their culture. They stripped them of their language. They took the kids, the young children, and they, you know, anytime they try to speak their language, they would get beat,
Mm.
you know, just because they wanted to push. their religion onto them.
Yeah, their
That
agenda.
that is that is evil. I don't care if the priest is saying I'm doing it for God. Your God is not the same God that I don't understand how anybody could think that. You know what I mean? That's just crazy talk to me. Um, and I also think that like you had said something about like jocks and stuff, like younger kids, like in school, how
Mm,
jocks and all that stuff, and how they mock, and 100% that there are, I think, a bunch of evil young people. I do believe that. I believe that people who cheer on massacres or go to like a lookout to see other groups of people being bombed and having a party against,
mm,
that is evil. An adult teaching a child how to hate someone, that is evil, because you're not only pushing your evil agenda on an innocent child, but now you're turning that child into a little you, and that's just going to continue a cycle of hate.
mm,
And hate is fundamentally evil.
mm.
You can't hate something and call yourself, well, I guess so, because how many times do I say I hate that, I hate that, I hate that? I think I'm a pretty good person. But going back to that, I think from my traumas of when I was younger, growing up, I wasn't um the best person. I used to do bad things. You know what I mean? Um, and so my question to you regarding, kids and stuff, do you think that that is something that can be, like,
Reverse change.
yeah, like with education, educating them? I know you're big on education, and I know that that's a big answer for you, but
So, um, 100%. Like it's a
good.
rhetorical question.
Yeah, because I
You
think so
know,
too.
because it comes down to the educators.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't deem yourself as that, right, a child will always look at you as that.
Yep.
Like what's understood doesn't need to be explained.
Exactly.
Like that concept. So a child is looking at a grown adult, right, physically in every way, right? Even if they're not identifying, their spirit and subconscious is.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're around them constantly, for example, school, the domestic environment, they're learning from them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it depends too, because like, hmm, like most kids that are born in single parental households, not necessarily listen to maybe the mom or the dad.
Mm.
And I think the resentment gets built by not having both.
Yep.
Especially when you end up going to kids, going to school and seeing other kids, maybe talking to other kids. Maybe you go to parent teacher meetings and you're
Mm-hmm.
looking around and you're like, damn, how come everybody's paired up?
Mm.
That kid has two, mom and dad. That kid, two, mom and dad. Maybe it's the non-heterosexual, two
Mhm.
dads,
Mhm. 2
two
moms.
women,
Mhm.
right? I'm not saying I'm in agreement to that. I'm just saying this is reality, right? Where we are today. But it's a couple. The kid is just seeing that.
Mhm.
Now they feel away.
Mhm.
They feel, man, why am I not special? Like all these
Mhm.
things
Yeah,
pop up in their head, right?
definitely.
So that builds resentment, and maybe that mother or that father is teaching that daughter or that son something, and they're just doing the opposite
Yep.
because that resentment is building a rebellious behavior now.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that when a child is born and they see a mentor, they gotta feel it. Like this shit is real. I talk about like when I talk about BDSM, I say that it's a spiritual thing. Like people
Mhm.
think it's a physical, or how loud you can yell, or how much you can bench press in the gym, and what you have, money and status. No, it's internal because dogs feel it. Babies feel it.
Mm.
Women feel it. Men feel it. When you walk into a room, like I always believe, we're spirits in flesh. So you feel a way. You might not have answers to it, but you feel it when they step into the room. They control things. That animal is wild. I step into the room, I say sit. He or she sits. I pet it. It's so nice. How did you get him to calm down? How did you get her to calm down? The baby's yelling. Hand her over here. Hand him over here. Come here. He needs some dominance. He needs to feel masculine energy. Calms down. Oh my God. What? How did that happen? It's a real thing. So I think that the child has to see that their spirit and their mind has to be in tune to see that in you to be able to follow. Like my nephew and nieces feel that
Yeah.
with me, and I'm not trying to boast. I'm just giving examples.
No, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen you with them.
You know, so it has to. They gotta feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. And then number two, it gotta be consistent. It has to be consistent because the kids are watching everything you do, not what you say.
That's true. I think that I think that humans have obviously uh the most capabilities of being
Corrupted?
just evil to the core. I think, and I don't care if I think anything done to children, I, off rip, I don't care who you are, it's evil. You know what I mean? I think we touched on this specific one when we had a guest about the nurse who was a nurse
Breaking arms.
breaking the arms of newborn babies.
Yep,
That's
it was Tamika.
Yeah.
It was 192.
Yeah, that is
The
evil.
the male villains and female pure
Yep.
evil.
Yes. And you know, like even now, those ICE raids that are happening in this country, which is not the first time that it's happened. The last time that Trump was president, he separated migrant families, and they still haven't found those children. And now they're taking children out of foster homes and sending them to Lord knows where, because some of those kids are never found again. That is evil. Hurting an innocent child is evil. Shaking a baby because you're playing a game or you're frustrated or whatever, then you shouldn't have had a baby, or you should learn how to leave that crying baby and make sure it's safe, and step away. Go to the bathroom, splash water on your face. There is no excuse ever to hurt an innocent child. And I think that um, you know, evil such as you know, men pedophiles, Lord child.
Yeah.
There I think I mentioned this to you also. Tim Tebow, is that his name? He now has like a podcast. Actually, it's more, he has a podcast, but he actually goes with like a special forces type thing to find these kids, and he has said that the number one predator for young children are their own fathers, and their own, and I'm not trying to, he's the one who said it, and it's white men that do it the most. That is just beyond evil, because you have been given this task to raise this innocent child the best of your ability, and instead of doing that, you break them in every single way. That child no longer has trust. That child feels like they're worthless. um that child feels that they're not lovable, or that's the only type of love that they can feel. That is beyond evil. And he even said, I'm sorry, he even said that when they caught one of these pedophiles, they asked him, how do you pick your victim? And he said, I sit and I watch and I find the happiest kid. This is obviously, these are the ones that just go and pick a random child.
I remember you saying that in that episode.
Yeah. And he said that he picks the happiest kid so that he can take that happiness away.
Let me tell you, I just don't want to cut you off. I want
Yeah.
you to get everything.
Go ahead.
Okay, you're done?
I got my. Well, I'm gonna
Okay.
jump back in.
Let me tell you why that occurs.
Yeah.
There's
Do
a
you know why that
psychological
occurs?
there's a psychological imbalance in chemical imbalance in their brain. These type of people. You got to look at every nuance here. Their upbringing, who was their mentors growing up? Um, did they have education? Um, what part of the world, country, whatever state they were born, what they were doing, what they are consistently doing, how they think. One thing I always say when, like, let's say I coach younger males, right? I always ask them, who is your father?
Mm-hmm.
And then I ask them, when they answer me, I say, who is your grandfather? Now, I'm going to explain by giving more context. Like, people will be like, what the fuck does that matter? It matters a lot because this goes back full circle from the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
this, of the kids watching and listening, education. Even if the parents is not telling them certain things, they're watching. So if your dad wasn't a man of his word, neither was your grandfather, you're not going to even fathom that. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
be something you even, it's going to be foreign to you. It's going to be out of your vocabulary. When
Mm-hmm.
I mention it, somebody else mentions it, they're going to be like, what is that? What
Mm.
does that mean? Like, what is that?
Well, I have an answer for
So,
that, for what you asked. Because Tim Tebow, he
mhm.
said it's not who you think. It's not like people on welfare, although it does happen there too.
It's
The
the least
most,
you expect.
right, the most are they're educated, they're high earners, they're
Hmm.
in um the higher I guess in the community.
Yeah,
It's those
socioeconomic.
people, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that a person who has been abused themselves, I understand that. I understand trauma, I understand abuse, I understand all of that. And as a child, you have no control over that, right? But as an adult, it is, I feel, your job, your duty, that if you think you're going to want to start a family, then you have to heal yourself from that. You know what I mean? It's up to you to, um, everybody after a certain point in their lives in school, you know what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? That's a basic. You kill somebody, is that right or wrong? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
I mean, unless it's
And
self defense
no, no,
kill.
no,
We shouldn't have
no,
been that. We should
no,
have said that
no,
one.
no. See, it's a bad thing. Period. Now, when you put into context of like now reasoning, now we can put reasoning, but it is like I remember I said in that episode,
Yeah, you did
well,
too.
lying on the stand to protect a loved one, this and that, whatever, trespasser, all of that nature. Specific, like the act in general is bad, it's evil,
Yes, the act in
but
general is bad.
then when we put reason to it, it's like
Or circumstance.
or circumstance, then
Mm-hmm.
we make an excuse for it, and I'm not like it is what it is with that regard. But in that regard, yes, we have to have a little bit of both. We have
What do
to
you
have a
mean?
little bit of both because of the world that we're in,
A little bit of both of what?
evil and good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that that's just
So
the norm.
let me get to this. My memory's on point today. I don't need to, and I'm forcing myself to remember because I don't have a pen and I'm stubborn. I don't want to use yours. So the thing is, yes, you are right.
Mm.
With the people that reach the upper echelon, money, status, socioeconomic background, and whatnot, right? They have an agenda through their whole journey of getting there. Um, they hate themselves. This is some self-hate concept here. They hate themselves. And in that regard, now they build a sense of entitlement. So that sense of entitlement is why we have pedophiles, why we have grown people doing these things to children. why we have grapists. All of these things going on. It's building a sense of entitlement. Um, it's building a sense of I'm on a war path for revenge. It's building a sense of they don't deserve that. I want it. You ain't work for that.
Neither
You
they.
ain't work for that.
Neither they.
You know what I'm saying? Who?
Whoever's thinking that, whoever's thinking they didn't work for that, I'm gonna take it. You didn't work for it either. So what
Yeah,
makes you better than that?
yeah. It's the entitlement. So it comes down to what I believe those things playing a factor, but you're right. It could be both ends. It could be someone who is highly educated, someone who isn't. But the
It's
one who is highly educated,
more so that
they're
than
more
before.
dangerous in
Yeah.
regards because they're like you were saying in that episode with Tamika, they're more calculating. Like you were
Mm-hmm.
saying that one guy's like, oh well, I picked them out. He's calculating. I
Mm-hmm.
find who's the happiest to take that away. So they're a little bit more dangerous versus the ones who aren't in that status level where they are. They're more sporadic, the opposite. I think that
Well, I think the
it comes down to a lot of like real education.
yeah.
It comes down to, using your intuition. I don't let a lot of people in my circle. I don't trust a
Mm.
lot of people. I don't trust a smile. I
You
don't
don't trust a
trust,
big button smile?
I don't trust a good deed.
BBD. Please.
That's a good track, old school track. I got that in my playlist.
Mm.
Um, you know, it's driving me out of my mind.
See, I was gonna
But
sing, but
but but you know, it comes down to all those things of protecting yourself, and then you making a difference. I think that you can either use a platform or you can have children or nieces or whatever, and you can change the landscape through them. I don't think you can change everybody, but
definitely not.
you can do or give what you thought wasn't given to those group of people, to you and whatnot. Like it's not all about materialistic thing. I think we kind of get lost in that. It was
Well,
like we want to just give them everything we didn't have
yeah, that's
materialistically.
so bad. But let me ask you a question. Do you believe with the statement money is the root of all evil?
Yeah, there's a
You
reason
do?
why they say that. It is.
See,
Now you can change the landscape once again. You can change it because you can use money for good.
yes, I was gonna say that. I think
So
it's up to the
it
person.
is the root to all evil because it does more bad than good.
No, money,
No,
like, oh, hold on,
no, I'm
one
saying
second.
that.
But I know. But what I'm trying to say is, so
And
you
let me
know,
explain why I'm saying that.
mm,
Just write it down. It does more bad than good because the money is going to bring out fake friends. The money is going to make women love you more. Fake love. The money is going to make you more popular. The money is going to build more envious people. The money is going to make you more susceptible to be harmed. The money is gonna make people want to use you. Yo, you got me this week. I need help. And the money can now make these people feel entitled to want to do shit that's evil because they got the resources and the finances now and the assets. So it's more bad than good, but you can always reverse it by the individual themselves can take it and induce goodness for it. Now it can be good.
I I'm happy that you were able to explain that more, and I do agree to some extent, but it's the way I see it. Money is all right, just like how the law people or the lobbyists for guns,
Mm.
they what do they say? People that don't want the guns kill children, and what do they answer? No, people kill children or whatever. a gun is just a tool. People kill people.
Yeah, that's
People that
true.
have a gun kill another person, right?
Mm.
So because it's a tool to use, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way about money. I agree with you that when somebody has money, it brings out the ugly and people, like you said, now you have more friends. Now you think that you because you have money, but it's not the money that is doing that. Is the person who has that already in them
Mm.
to do that. Because somebody who doesn't have money and now gets it but is a fundamentally good person will, like how you said it on other episodes, if you have $30 and somebody comes and says, I don't have any money, what are you going to do? You give them some of your money, even if you that's the last. 30 is pretty much a lot, nowadays. Let's say you have just $20 left.
I ain't doing that.
You're a damn liar. You're a damn liar. I know you would do that. You would
I
help
ain't doing that.
somebody out. You
No.
have helped me out.
My last $30?
I'm not saying you're going to give them your last $30. So that's what I'm saying. If that person is good, has a good heart, has a good soul, has maybe, worked on themselves, they are not going to, like you said in your opening statement, how some people could just be like, I don't care. That's not my problem. Right? Somebody who doesn't have a lot, but still will continue to give, that's a good person. And it doesn't mean, and money, yes, can bring the ugly and the evil out of somebody, but that is because that is already in them.
Yeah, they just needed a boost.
Yes, they needed a reason.
So I can agree with that. Like, I would say stop giving evil people money. That's why we in the situation we are today.
You know what I'm saying?
But
That's what we've been trying to tell this
but
damn government too.
but the thing is this. I feel like money's the root to all evil when you know about it, when you show it, when it's in summary, you're aware. So let's say I'm a millionaire. Do I dress like one? Do I dress like one?
Nope.
Let's say I'm a millionaire. Do you know what type of cars I got? Okay, let's say you're on the outside looking in.
Nope.
Okay, do you know what my house look like? Apartment, whatever. Um, do you see me online?
Because you're not flashy.
See, that's what my point. So
Yeah.
now you can see it,
Yeah.
right? I talk about it a lot, so now you're aware. What else? Things that you're doing. So yeah, yes.
buying.
Now that's because it's already the root to all evil. Now it's gonna attract all these things to you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's just stupidity or young mind, on that person. It doesn't mean that they're evil.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to make a point. Like the money is definitely the root to all evil. It's how you use it. It's how you're putting it out. It's what it is because that's always gonna attract, you know, it. Like for example, a woman with a nice body, pretty face, who is actually out there, like her whole page is full of selfies, posting her body, posting her booty all the time. She's going to attract a lot of negativity. She's going to attract guys who are not going to be men. They're going to be rapists. They're going to be the people that are faking. Oh, I'm going to scope out whoever, right? They're going to be serial killers. They're going to be thirsty dudes. They're not going to be real divine men. Because that what she's doing is evil. We could go in biblical times and stuff of that nature, or whatever it is, how the woman's body should be a temple and how that should be when she's with somebody, that she should be sharing that with them specifically. Right? So now that that's being put out there, it's the same thing as I'm making it as the concept of men and women, because this is how we look at each other by nature until we become conscious. Men are visual creatures, women like providers. You know what I'm saying? So the money, like the man's wallet is out there, the woman's body is out there. So I'm doing both sexes here. Both things being pushed out is going to bring a lot of negative connotations, a lot of evil. It's not going to get you what you want. Now, you can retain these things for special people, people that you trust, not put it out there for the world. And now you can change the narrative of it being evil.
Hmm.
Because you got to understand, if it's the root to all evil, it's going to attract that first, and a lot more of it than good.
Okay. So how can it be the root to all evil if it's based on how you use it? Like I understand that it can bring about a lot of negativity, a lot of evil intentions on from other people, but at the same time, you've I've read about millionaires actually, or bill no, I don't know if it was billionaires or millionaires that have lost that millionaire status because they have donated the money to homeless or to children or to some starving people that are being
Because Sue,
starved.
they're changing the narrative. That's what I mean. They are the special individuals. They're taking an evil tool, and then they are
It's not.
producing good out of
I
it.
mean, I don't think it's an
I
evil
I
tool.
believe social media, about 85% of it is bad.
Mm.
Now, the other people can take the 15% and use it for good. So when you look at certain things, like a table is just a table, it's not valuable until you start putting things on it, because it's just there. But if I start putting things on it, I need it. Right now it's valuable. I need it. Things are on the table now.
Mm.
But if you just buy a table at whatever places, furniture places, Raymond Flanagan's, whatever, Bob's Furniture, whatever where you go, you're like, oh, it's just a table. You know what I'm saying? No matter the cost, it's just a table. When you bring it into your home and you start putting things on it, now the table becomes valuable.
Okay.
So it's like the money is the root to all evil. When we look at history, right, the things that was done for it, colonization, taking over, dominance and terror and violence to take over the countries or whatever it is, every part of it had to do with money. So it's like a bad concept that we gotta change. This is my
Yeah,
perspective
yeah.
only. You shaking your head.
No,
This is
no, yes, go
my
ahead.
this is a bad concept already that's cursed since the beginning of time, before your and my time, that now special people come in and gotta change it. That's what I'm looking at it as. It's just like a microphone. A microphone is just there. What is the microphone used for? To
Right, no.
amplify our voices, right?
Right.
Right? So if you just have a microphone there and it's like you just looking at it, oh, there's microphones or whatever it is, they're not of use. Like, the
Right.
microphone has a specific use.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the money has a specific use. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is predominantly created and structured around that specific thing. So I'm saying special individuals who, like, I'll agree with you, who already have it in them, where they were already tried. They went through trials and tribulations where they were already tried and it didn't change their character. When they have money, they're not gonna change. They're actually gonna do good with it.
Right. So then is it the
It
material thing that is causing it, or is it the people, the individual?
it is. I'll still go back. It is the material thing.
I think it's the individual. I think it's them greed plays a big part of that. And it doesn't even have to be you said it before. It could be somebody not even having to do with money that wants to take your girl or kill your child or set you up. You know what I'm saying? It's the person. It has nothing to do. I think this is my beliefs. I think, like I said, stated before, money is a tool. If the person is bad, then they will use that money
Let
for
me
bad.
let me ask you a
If the
question.
person is good, they will use that money for good.
Let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
And this is subjective. I already know the answer, but I want to know your mind.
Okay.
Do you believe, now, seduction can be many different things, but do you put in there as well, seduction is manipulation?
Seduction, yes.
I agree.
I agree with that.
So
Seduction is manipulation.
seduction alone is manipulation. Because if we look at what the term is, could be subjective, Google, whatever, Reddit, wherever these platforms you're going on to find information,
Mm.
um, that that term being present is going to induce something, emotions, persuasion, get what you want, whatever it is. And that we lump it in as manipulation. And when we think of manipulation, we always cognitive part of our mind, we always put out evil, like
Or
manipulative.
negative.
It's negative. It's not good. So seduction or being seductive is like pretty dangerous. It's pretty evil. Now it comes down to the who it's in the hands of. Let's say a man, pause, that got good dick. That is a very valuable tool for a lot of women. They will probably never admit it because they don't want to get judged. And especially more now because it's rare, it's hard to find. Get pussy everywhere, but you get dick, but you can't get good one.
Mm.
So that now, who it's attached to,
Yeah.
So think about it. If he's a street dude too and doesn't have
Yeah.
education, doesn't want to learn, damn, to fall in love with a street dude, a good girl, your whole life gonna be fucked up
Oh, yeah.
because you are going to be enthralled with that type of power that he has. You know that he's gonna use break up. Or, I'm done with you. Yeah, you
Mhm.
get those feelings again. It will that power.
Yeah.
He
So he
got your
can use
mind.
her.
He got your emotions. So if it's in the hands of the wrong person, you're fucked.
But
Same thing with this concept of that's
exactly
why I'm
though.
breaking it down to make you understand. I'm not trying to sway your decision and perspective. I'm saying money is the root to all evil. It's evil till its core. Now it comes down to somebody stepping in and being like, I'm taking this to produce good out of it. Or I'm not taking this on the table. You want me to bend over and have a dude? No, I don't believe in that. I'm not taking that. That's evil to get that. I'm not taking that and now have it, and then now I become a pedophile, create an island, blah blah blah, do this. There's a tunnel to get there and all that I'm creating so I could get off and do all these things that's immoral and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it is there. It comes down to the individuals
But
coming to take it and then doing good out of it. Because the way I look at it is more bad than good. More people will do bad with it than good. Just like seduction, it is more bad than good, especially in the hands of the wrong person.
but that's the key word that you keep saying it, and I feel like you're missing what you're saying. You said that it depends on who the
That's
person
pretty
has it.
presumptuous of you.
I'm
I'm missing
sorry.
what
I'm sorry. I didn't
I'm
mean it like
missing
that
what I'm saying.
because you keep saying it depends on the person that has it. It depends on the man that has that tool, right? How he's going to use it. What if a guy who's a really great person who has that really good D and and he's like stark, you know, totally different from the other guy.
Hmm.
It's like you said, it's up to that person. They got the
And
same
then
tool.
what?
They got what do
And
you
then
mean?
he does good with it.
Right, and then good tool, whatever. Like he loves his girl, and he doesn't
Hmm.
use her like that.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. It's up to the person who has it
Hmm.
and how they use it.
Yeah, because it's already kind of like a bad thing, like a good man who's a bad boy.
I'm not talking about a good man who's a bad
A
boy.
divine, hold on, I'm making you understand my thought process. Divine masculine, pause, devil dick. There's no way, like, yeah, they say good dick, pause, but it's relentless, it's rough, it's some type of savage in there that turns a woman like I ain't never heard a woman say, oh yeah, it was so soft strokes and that was the best. No, it's always some rough shit. So you gotta dive into that type of evil to give good. So I'm trying to make you understand, like, that alone is already like something evil in a sense. Now it comes down to the person coming in and like, I'm taking this evil for good.
So okay, I have my own little like stories or whatever examples. Let's say there's a poor family and they're walking and they find $100 bill on the floor. Now they have money to buy dinner, buy something to eat, buy groceries.
So
No, because you're saying that money is
and
already has an evil thing to it.
and
But
then
if that's the case, then do you see what I'm saying?
and
It's
then
it's
now
a tool.
the person is giving it to him, because you got to understand, and we gonna think differently in this sense, but
Yeah,
I believe everything is energy. So
me too.
the money is passed on. That's also how you get sick. I'm always like sanitizing, and
Mhm.
that's also how you get sick, because it's the money exchange, right? That's going on throughout the day, retail,
Mhm.
whatever it is. So that's that. So every object has energy attached to it,
Mhm.
right? So now that it's exchanged, right? It's on to new energy.
Mhm.
So let's say that you're saying that a good family, or a good person, like, dropped $100 on purpose for the family to pick up.
No, they just found it.
From who?
It was on the floor.
Okay, so you don't know where that money comes from. You don't know what type of energy is on it.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So you could understand that, like, that money that you take now, bad shit could be happening because you have that. Now, if you decide to do good with that $100, like you were saying, feed your family, you kind of break that curse. I'm speaking. Maybe I'm getting too deep, but
No, I completely I agree with you in terms of I also believe that objects carry energy, other people's energy and all that stuff, which is why I have every time I get something new, I use
sage.
incense or sage or whatever, camphor, and I spray it past the smoke, whatever it is, to cleanse it, and I say a little something. You know what I mean? But that is just like a little ritual that I do. Obviously, we can't people can't do that with money. You know what I mean? Like how you know go to the back of the store and spray the money and cleanse it. You can't do that. But what I'm saying is, I don't even know what I'm saying because you knocked it out of my head. I this is one topic that I think we will agree to disagree on because I feel like just like a gun, just like a man's penis or a woman's, vagina or whatever, it is a tool that can be used. And like you have stated so many times during this episode, it depends on how the person who is holding that tool. Now, I do agree that um, a lot of evil has come out,
Mm.
because of it. People, like you stated earlier when you opened up the show, they pay to, they go and they steal a child, they give the person the money, bring this child, and they do whatever they want to them. You know what I mean? They abuse them, and then they wind up, discarding them like they're nothing.
Hmm.
And I do agree that it has, but it is, like I said, it is that person that is causing all of this. The money is just a transaction. Does that make sense?
I hear you.
That's just me.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. No. Um.
So I think that it's taking that evil tool as the person, and then making it good.
Yes.
Just like when I talk
Okay.
about, like, seduction. Like, seduction is manipulation, and
Yes.
most
Mm,
manipulation
like
is
cousins.
is bad. But in the hands of the right man, like, he could be a bad boy but a good man. So he knows how to be seductive, but when it's needed, like in the bedroom, when he's trying to pursue a woman, but he's not scheming so it could be like, oh well, I hate women now because I got played by so much. And now I'm gonna just scope out these and just use them for sex. Dog them out. Give them good dick. Play them. Never call ghost. Or lock them in the basement. Lock them up. Never feed them. Put them in a cage. Grape them. Do all these evil things as revenge. You
That's
understand?
crazy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, there's some weird dudes out here,
Oh,
grapists and
there's
stuff.
so many. It's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Incels who never got women before. Now they got money and they're getting them. So now they're on a revenge tour.
You know what I think
So
is evil too?
so it's like in those type of fashions, like, you know, it's seduction is evil, but it comes down to, like, me, I would say, like, knowing these people. Like, I don't think you can change the world. Like Tupac said, I might spark a mind that will change the world. That is true. But I don't think you can change everybody, change the world, or whatever it is. But you can change the people you're pursuing, your children, your circle of friends, your family's mindset. You know, you can make a difference. That's the good person that's taking a bad tool and elevating that and making it good. Like, seduction is bad. You talked about Ted Bundy.
Yes.
Okay, he, like, probably used that. I don't know the story, so I don't want to sound ignorant. But he probably
Yes.
used, like, seduction, right?
He's
To,
charismatic and all that.
yeah, to do all of that. So, you know, it's an evil tool, but in the hands of the right people, they can make it feel good. They can give it to good people where it matters. Charity, whatever you're thinking about, that family needs it more than me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think they can take that evil tool and then they change that. Like, it's almost like I got hired. I was the most elite candidate, stellar. They hired me for that corporation. Everybody in there is fucking corrupt. They're stealing, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's like fucking mafia got the cops on the payroll. You try to talk to the cops and you think everything's gonna be good, but then they're gonna call the mafia bosses and now you're fucked. So you keep your mouth closed. I come in and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going above everybody's head. I'm going to the CEO. I'm being friends with him. I'm going to the investors. I'm going to HR. And I'm getting everybody fired. I'm getting all the bad apples here. And I'm hiring a whole bunch of new people here. Now I'm changing the whole fucking company because the majority is making that shit evil. It's putting a stink to it. Metaphorically, it's putting a bad stigma to that corporation. So now I come in and then I built a team that has the same mindset as me, that has integrity and principles and wants to do the same thing. And now we dominate the industry. And we put the right people in positions. And now you see the company elevating with integrity and good morale. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so fucked up for so long, it has the stigma of evil. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like the evil is there, and then it takes the good people to come in and take it and change it.
I agree with. I also think though that people who stay quiet when they see or they know that somebody else is doing something evil, I think they're just as bad.
We talked about this in the immorally
Oh yeah.
episode. Yep,
Actually, I wasn't even
I
talking.
agree.
I wasn't right now. I wasn't even referring to because we were talking about Puff with that one, right? Um.
No, no, it was a past episode, like 15 episode, season 15, season
Oh.
16.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that people. Yeah, and I remember people who know what's going on and stay quiet. Like you know that somebody is abusing a kid, not even sexually, but beating the shit out of them, and you stay quiet. You're a bad person. You're a bad person. If you know that a guy has tendencies to rape women because you've seen it, he's shown you on the, and you don't say nothing, you are a bad person. You are a bad person. And people who can see children being blown up and killed and not say nothing about it, you are a bad person. That is my feelings on that, and nobody will ever change that. I have these types of well, I'm not this calm when I have it with my dad because, and I've said it so many times. He's 80. He's from a different time. Um, but there's no. I will always go to bat. I will always go to war for the little guy. I will always be the loudest person to, find justice in something. Always. That's in my nature. I can't, I can't
You
control
fight for
that.
the underdog.
Always.
Mhm.
Always, always, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm.
Especially, in the state of the world where we are now. Um, you know, Cutting off Medicaid, cutting off food stamps, cutting off the education system, cutting off the medical and all of that, but throwing yourself a military style parade for your birthday,
Mm.
that is beyond evil and beyond stupid. And not only that, but you want to take away, all these programs to help the people, but you want to ban abortions in any way, form, or fashion. And I don't agree with late term abortions. That is evil. But to have a young girl who was raped by her father and make her give birth, that is evil. Because you know what? If she has this baby, she there was just one that was 15 or something like that. What how can a 15-year-old take care of a child? They can't unless they're on some sort of, service. But guess what? All those service that help single parents, they are all taken away.
The only way you can help stop that is by raising awareness with your voice, like
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing right now. You
Mm-hmm.
can't stop that from happening because you can't go into every household and be checking. Are you being a good father here? Are you being a good father? Are you
No,
being a
but
good
but
father?
you could allow a young child who is raped and now pregnant, you can allow her to take a pill that will stop any formation of anything for all those, pro-lifers out there.
The government,
The government
like
what?
you mean enforce that law now, like allow them to do that, like make them the exception to the rule.
Yeah, and we
we
had
we have
this.
to we have to don't you can't, like, I don't agree with that because
I know.
that it comes down to this. Like, I'll reiterate, you can't go into every house and be like, are you doing the right thing? We don't know the circumstance, like you're saying. And the crazy thing about it is, a lot of times this is happening privately, so you will
Yeah.
never know. So the way you can help, I'm no one to sound presumptuous, but maybe, I'm giving you some advice. And everybody else there,
Mm-hmm.
raise your voice.
Oh yes.
Use your voice. The only way to raise awareness. You cannot. You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna burn yourself out trying to do that. It's actually asinine.
To do
I'm
what?
I'm gonna go to every country, every state, I'm gonna make a difference by going into I'm not different people's houses and finding out. You're never gonna find out that's going on until somebody actually comes out and talks about it. A 35-year-old woman is actually now being vulnerable, telling a boyfriend about it, or telling the public, or whatever it is. This was happening to me. My Pakistani family, my Chinese family, my Latino family. It was happening, and I was too scared. I didn't know what to do. That's the only way we're gonna find out. But I think the way you can change the landscape,
Well,
the only way you can change the landscape, this is true, I'll reiterate, is by raising your voice, being a voice, so you can raise awareness for this circumstance. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Because you don't know what the fuck is happening. You got the teacher that's holding the hand of the child. Oh, your dad is over there. Oh, I'll walk you to the car. You don't know because once again they're doing the Ted Bundy thing. They're wearing a mask, so
Yeah.
you don't know if they're getting violated
Yeah.
at home.
Well,
So I think that you know let's put this also on the teachers. The teachers could be
yeah.
closer to the kids than anything of finding out what's going on at home. To talk to the teachers because how they're also helping the kids in school. Are they violating them too?
That's true too. I
So
mean, it's not just I agree with you. It's everybody because I just saw this a story not too long a couple of days ago actually. There was this girl who she was I think 10 at the time, and she went and she gave birth, and she told so her grandmother and her grandfather knew what was happening, that her father was raping her, This girl had 3 children by her father. The people at the hospital, you see an 11-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old coming in pregnant and having a kid. Not only did they run the DNA and they saw, oh, this kid matches the grandfather who is the father of the baby. It falls on all of them. But what's fucked up is that the little girl said she's now 23. She said that she told the people in school. She told the cops. She told her grandparents knew. She told the hospital, and nobody did anything. Nobody did
Really?
anything.
For real?
Why is that a surprise? Why are you shocked by that?
Because you named so many different
Yeah,
people,
you
different
would think that the first two to want to do something would be her grandparents. They didn't do anything.
than the police.
Right. When they came, they said she's lying.
Mm. Yeah, so
I mean, there's these types of stories. This is one of so many that I've heard.
yeah, so I think that we gotta just raise awareness.
Yeah.
And maybe if we raise awareness, other people can look at us as leaders and follow our footsteps. My circle of friends of men, right? I consider them family, right? They do certain things. They're gonna show me certain things or whatever it is that they're doing. If it is unjust, I'm calling them out, making them feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're telling me that, oh, yo, like, because you're trying to get validation from me because you think I'm the coolest in the group, you're showing me all these girls that you pipe when you go to different countries. Oh, look at her, look at her. And I'm like, dude, that's corny. Like, that's corny, bro. Like, are you planning on building something meaningful for them or with them or something like that? Oh, no, you're just hitting? Why am I privy to see that? You don't have any type of um ownership? Of course not. If you banging different girls, you don't say you belong to me. Nobody else you could do that with. So obviously you're showing me. I ain't never showed my boys since I was younger. In my late 30s, I never showed my boys private parts or videos that my ladies have sent me because I'm fucking overprotective, territorial to the highest level. And I don't believe that shit, especially if she's sending me something in confidence. That's for me. It was said that way. So I'm going to keep my word, my promise. But all these other dudes, I shamed them. Yo, that's not masculine. Right off the bat, quick. Make them feel bad for themselves. Beta. Beta. That's beta. I make them feel bad. Then if they respect me, and damn, you know, I'll stop doing that. See, that's what I'm saying. Be that catalyst of change in your family, group of friends, or whatever. If you see your brother sexualizing your little niece at a very, hey, big booty, nickname, hey, big booty, slapping it or whatever it is, right? Call him out on it. Yo, don't do that. She gonna get used to that when she grow up. You sexualizing her early or whatever it is. That's not right. Hold them accountable. I'm speaking hypothetical. Even in the family structure, because like you're saying, sometimes they're just gonna bind together. Oh, the little kid is lying. The mom and the brother have been in this earth before you. So I'm not gonna believe my brother did that. Even if you said so. I think you're being manipulative. You just don't like him right now, so you're lying. There's no way I could believe that. I grew up with him. You didn't. No, there gotta be a raise of awareness to be like, let me look at both sides now. I gotta, oh, please don't tell him when I'm alone. No, you ain't gonna be alone with him no more. I'm gonna have a sit down with him and find out what the fuck is going on. If this ain't true. If he lies to me, I'm gonna know about it. And what you told me right now, you're not gonna see him alone. You're not gonna go to his house or whatever alone and stuff of that nature.
That's how it should
But
be.
if it is, trust me, a lot of bad things is gonna happen to him in regard. But it's like, we gotta go back to that. We gotta bring masculinity back and femininity back because that's definitely not masculine. What the father is doing, what the uncle is doing, brother, whatever it is, the father to the daughter, you're seeing it happen to your niece. it's not masculine. It's not divine. It's not godly. We got to get back to God.
I think also,
Metaphorically, get back to God. God is in us.
yeah.
So we got to act that way. We got to act godly. And I think there's way too much evil in this world, and we keep giving evil people money, and it's making shit worse.
Ridiculous. I think to just touch on what you said, I think that we definitely have to get back to doing exactly what you said, calling them out publicly within the family, let everybody in the family know. Because what's been happening this whole time is people in the family know, and they'll be like, well, don't let the kids near Uncle so and so because he's a little
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
No, why the fuck is Uncle so and so in the fucking party? In the family party?
Yo, and a fucking little kids party. Yo,
Get the fuck out of
you
here.
fucking creep. You such an incel
Yep.
that you can't get pussy. You can't work a little bit hard to get that. That you see that's easily accessed. Shame them. Make them
Shame
feel
them.
bad.
Yes.
Back
But
in the
people
days,
don't do that.
back in the days, people, like I said, and I said this in the show prior, you found that we all got together, jumped him or whatever it is. We held him accountable, gave him a adult beating. So you changed. You know how kids get hit with the belt?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We did that. Oh, you didn't treat your girl right? You hit her? We don't do that, bro. You all do that. Oh, that happened to my sister? Get my boys or whatever it is. Let's have a conversation with him. You know where he live. Let's have a conversation. Like, I'm just saying, we gotta start bringing this
Yeah.
back. Shame and accountability
Yep, I agree.
to keep people in check.
Yep.
Because if we don't, like you're saying, we're not saying nothing.
And we're
By
not.
us implementing shame and accountability, we're trying to make a change. We're trying to do something, because I'm not in that household to make a change, but I can verbally eviscerate you and make you feel bad.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe that will make a change. And then if you just like, oh fuck him, who cares what he thinks, you get more people to say the same thing I'm saying.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Make them feel bad about themselves. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Make the woman feel bad that she's doing that online. Make her feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing that? Go into the comments. Put some clothes on. Oh man, you look ugly. You look ugly. Make them feel bad about it. I see the cellulite.
Oh
God damn,
my.
it's bad on you. Make them feel bad. Make them insecure. It might be evil, but stop it. Because then they'll stop it. And they got a man too. That's the worst thing. They talking about, oh, I'm not opening my legs. Make them feel bad, you whore. Use bad shaming terms.
Yeah.
No, you're getting the consequence for your virtual behavior now. Oh, society's not doing it? I am. And then they're doing it. And then they're doing it. And they're doing it. And the men that you really want are actually saying what the simps are not. Put your clothes on. Or you ain't gonna get a man like us.
Yeah.
Doing that, you're gonna get played with. Maybe.
Definitely.
But you're not gonna get what you want. And eventually you're gonna want that. When you're thinking asininely, oh yeah, well, I could dog him out and stuff. You meet that one person who actually dominates you. Now you're building emotion there. You can't help it. And then he ghosts you. And it's your karma. Because you're just dominating every guy. Oh, it ain't nothing or whatever. I'll get him too. So at the end of the day, you're gonna want what you want. I'm saying that to the women that's doing it. You're gonna want the traditional thing. You're gonna want a man. You're gonna want something consistent. You're gonna want consistent dick. You're gonna want a family one day, whatever. And then because now your karma's catching up with you, the one that you really want, he's evil. He just masked it very well. And now you're played. And now you go on a real path to disaster. Why are you setting yourself up right now for failure in the future? Shame him. Shame the guy that's posting his money in his cars. How old are you, bro? Oh, you're 41 doing that? What? 38? 35? You're showing you got 5 cars, all these houses and stuff.
But doesn't pay child support.
Doesn't pay child support. Got 10 different kids from 10 different countries talking about traditionalism. Is a pedophile too, sold his soul. But that's your top G? Yo, make them feel bad. Started a webcam business, so how you care about women?
Yep.
You a pimp on the low. Make them feel bad. I don't support you. You not my top G.
How so many people like to have like double standards with like certain things like
Yeah, because what you're doing in the private setting, nobody see.
I have something in my face?
No.
Oh.
What
Sorry.
you're doing in the private settings, nobody is gonna judge you for. Most people don't hold themselves accountable in the private setting.
No, well, I'm actually talking right now about you know what's going on with Iran and Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Iran is like, first of all, big up to them and big up to freaking Yemen and all them folks. But they have sent just this last night, like continuous, and they hit major buildings in Tel Aviv.
Mm.
And you have one of the reporters there, you know, in front of the rubble, and you know, he was like, you know, there's people trapped under there, calling them out, like now, you know, there can be their military is here and they're digging through the rubble to see if there's any survivors. And the clip that I saw, the person who was showing it paused it and was like, but it's been 2 years that you guys have been doing it to, actually, it's been 40 something years that you guys have been doing it to Palestine. Now there is no more Gaza. They have leveled it. There is nothing there. No infrastructure, nothing there. No vegetation, there's nothing there. And now you want to come and be like you know all about this stuff. You've done it. So the hypocrisy is ridiculous when it comes to like evil ass people like that.
You know, I'm aware of it. You
Yeah.
know, and you know, I boycott certain things too
Yeah.
because of it. But we're on final thoughts.
Final thoughts on what was the topic again? Like the name of it?
So, are we fundamentally good and bad or evil? Part two or bad?
Um, like I stated when we opened up the show, I think that everyone is born with, you know, free will, and with that comes we have, you know, masculine energy, we have feminine energy, we have good and we have bad, and I think it is dependent on the person and their trials and tribulations and how they have worked or not worked on themselves that will ultimately bring out who they truly are.
I'm gonna say something that I said in the last master class. I said, pertaining to like men and women, judge a man when he has an abundant amount of power. Judge a woman when she has a lot of freedom. That's what's gonna tell you where their character is. So, like you were saying earlier, some people, I don't believe it, but some people think money is power. A lot of it. So now they act wild, bozo shit, pedophile, pedophilia, whatever you want to say.
Lying.
The worst things, evil things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the freedom that a woman has, because we gotta look at also like history, how women were restricted and stuff of that nature. So now that they have way more free will than men, I believe, and they could say things publicly and not be held accountable. Um, but I think things are changing. Um, when you see that, right? They You could tell their character, by the freedom that they have with what they do. Now I'm doing OnlyFans. Now I'm posting my body online. I never did it when I was in relationships. I'm doing it now. Now I'm playing guys, ghosting them, pretending I'm into them, to compensate for the breakup. Rebound, I'm not over. Whatever it is, setting them up, putting things in their drinks, whatever it is. Same thing with the men. They got a lot of power. When a woman gives you submission, it's power. He's abusing it, abusing her. That's letting you know his character. His male friends are being vulnerable with him, telling them, or telling that guy what they got, what they own, blah 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 blah. And those guys are like, damn, that guy or those guys, I want that. I want what he got. You see, so like power now, so it comes down to, are we fundamentally good or bad or evil? I'll agree with you. Even Google says yes, we are born with a mixture of both. Certain circumstances take it, but I would tell everybody try to strive to be good.
Always.
You know, and it could be subjective, and also how you view yourself. But I think collectively, the good people come together, we change the landscape of the world.
I agree.
So strive for that, because some people might not believe this, and I want to put this more into context because it's very important. It's not happening to you. Yeah, it's gonna affect you. So I remember one podcast I said, 'cause women would always tell me all the time in the DM, like, "Oh, you really don't like women taking their clothes or whatever." Of course I do. I'm a man. My women, my eyes only. Like, why would they be for everybody else?
Mm.
So I'm technical. You really don't like it online. Like, why should I see you? I'm a stranger online. So you really don't like that? Oh, it's nothing or whatever it is. The way I look at it is I look more in depth than them girls who have said that to me. And I say they're girls, even though they were grown women. They're girls. They're females. They're not divine. If they were divine, they would think like me. I'm thinking more in depth. My future kids could be fucked up for that. And if I have girls, my nieces are affected. So I could be like, yeah, it ain't nothing. I'm doing it. I'm encouraging it. I'm encouraging the new era prostitution now. The OnlyFans, the this, the that, the booties online, the whatever, bodies. I'm encouraging it. Now you have a daughter. She does the same thing. Can you get mad? No, like you said, you're a hypocrite. So the thing is, the dominant, why would you hold your sub accountable for things that you are actually promoting the women that don't belong to you? That's insane to me. That means you really like that. You're a weird dude. I can't trust you.
Yeah, you can't trust his
So
word
you
for
got to
sure.
look at women as a whole, not just because they don't belong to you. Because what they're doing online is affecting the dating market too. When I go out there, so now it is affecting me. Not just gonna affect my niece and future kids if I have a daughter and sons and how they view women. And I gotta teach them and make them unlearn. It's affecting me too. Because now when I'm trying to incorporate submission and dominance and gender roles, they're gonna be like, fuck you, nigga, what the fuck is this? We're in the 1950s? No, women take their clothes off online now. Don't you know that that's the norm? You see how it's affecting me? Yeah, I'll have to check, please. I'll have to check. Hey, this date's over. You see how it's affecting me?
Yeah.
So for people that don't think, they're just like you were saying, they're, oh, well, it ain't happening to me. They're not saying anything. It will eventually catch up to you.
100%.
So I would say to strive to be good. Words are powerful. Think of yourself as good and do good, because you will get rewarded spiritually in the next life. I'm very blessed because how I am, how I treat people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what has happened to me, let them deal with my ancestors and God. I forgive them. Maybe they don't. Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing good. See, I got my eye on the finish line. You back there. So you deal with them. Good luck. Better ask them for forgiveness. I already forgave you. So that's my mindset. And I think a lot more people need to do that. There's too much monkey see, monkey do.
100%.
Not enough independent thinkers, not enough thought leaders. So I think that, moving forward, maybe we could be the platform to, be the catalyst to change.
Ignite that spark.
And raise awareness. So things like this is not happening in the household and whatnot. Or if you hear this stuff and what's going on in your household, now it could be a spark for that uncle
Yeah.
to hold that nephew accountable, or that nephew to hold that uncle accountable, or mother or aunt or whatever
Brother,
it is.
sister, holding fathers accountable, mothers.
You know what I'm saying? Like this needs to be done because eventually it's gonna catch up to you. So Are we fundamentally good or bad? We have both in us. Choose the right circumstance to be what. But also how you view yourself, like I'll reiterate from that show, matters. Your circle of friends, your family. If it's congruent, that's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you put into your mind, you start to play and be, because it's absorbing into all your cells and just making you move that way. So I would say that speak more power in you,
Mm-hmm.
speak more positivity in you, because negativity breeds negativity, and I think a lot of people are in this position where they think of evil, whatever it is, mostly, and maybe they got some evil in them, but they're mainly good. But
Yeah, I believe that.
but I'm talking about the people that got more evil than good. maybe
Gotta
they're
work
in,
on that.
maybe in their they're in that position because they're constantly just in a negative rut. They
Mm-hmm.
think of themselves negatively. They don't want to be better. They don't want to do better. They treat the people around them like shit because they're not happy with their life
Yep.
and what they're receiving, what they're not receiving. They're entitled, so changing your mind is healing your mind. Get out the matrix, unlearn, relearn. So when you get out the matrix and you train your mind, you're going to move different because
Yep.
now you're going to start to induce different emotions and they
Mm-hmm.
all link: mind, body, soul, physical, emotion, spirit. So all that stuff gotta be in tune. Like I always say, the last dragon, mind, body, and soul. Like you got the glow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about that. Like get the glow. The glow is divine.
Yeah. I feel like it's your aura, no?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same thing. All right. So once again, you were tuned into the most enlightening, um, raw, no, uncut, no holds barred, conversation, stimulating,
Thought provoking.
thought provoking, the most unheralded but soon to be heralded Disciplinary Podcast. Peace.
Peace.